I think I was talking about NLG part, right? Where it is all about prediction of next word of the token. If this is the input, let us say, um, and basically some of the possibilities for the next word are, let's say, A, it's the place. Maybe this comes from the things it would have learned based on the information captured or the data it has been trained on model, right? So based on the probabilities, it is like it has the highest probability. Then you have Chennai is famous for its. So it generates next word as its, okay? And any guesses? People who are from Chennai. Sorry? So some of the options are, let us say, industry, beaches, food, and temples, right? So beaches has the higher probability, then that's why next word will be beaches. So now let us understand what is the thing that was different about ChatGPT, right? So we spoke about LLMs. In ChatGPT, the G part stands for generative. So we understood what generative means, right? P is nothing but pre-trained because model is pre-trained on large corpus of data. And T stands for transformer. Basically, it is based on the transformer architecture. And it is, it is trained on like 175 billion plus parameters. And one of the important thing about this, why it became a breakthrough is, one is, this was the first chart-focused LLM. LLMs were earlier used, but at a different scale. And one of the main reasons why it became success was the entity that it used called RLHF, reinforcement learning via human feedback. Basically, what they did is, as part of their training pipeline, based on the, when they were training the model, based on its outcome, they evaluated its, let us say, toxicity, truthfulness, accordingly gave the human feedback, and through the reinforcement learning technique, continue to improve the model. So that's the meaning of RLHF. So if you look at the journey of GPT, actually it started all the way from 2018. Only difference was like corpus of the data it was trained on was a bit smaller scale in GPT-1 and 2. In 3, it was like at a larger scale, and 3.5 is where it introduced RLHF plus some guardrails, safety guardrails. Yeah, so let us understand some of the enterprise use cases of generative AI or generative NLP, right? So one is like basically document processing, which is more of a tagging and extraction. And other one is like, this is a lot more important in the context of DeFi. Let us say you have a lot of information in the form of, maybe it is, let us say, PDFs, presentations, conversations. So all that can be stored in the form of knowledge search. And let us say you want to perform question answering on top of that. Because at many times, direct, like just a simple search or grep sort of operation might not help you providing the like answer to some of the complicated questions, right? And other one is conversational agents. These things have been there if you look at the grocery apps, food delivery apps. But the difference is till now, earlier whatever we used to see, these all were rule-based, not LLM-based. The moment you bring LLM into picture, then you might have seen sometimes getting absurd response when you ask certain question. That is because it is rule-based. And other important thing where, again, it is a lot more relevant in DeFi spaces, workflow automation. We will talk about that, how it can be used. Basically, you give the task, and then if you look at the example, like basically writing an email, right? So we spoke about LLMs, but how to apply it, how to get something out of it, right? That's where RAG, retrieval augmented generation, comes into picture. So this is nothing but we spoke about creating the knowledge search and then doing the QA on top of that. How the typical pipeline for that looks like, right? Basically, you have all these data sources. You do the data preparation, and then you apply some NLP methods like text chunking and pre-processing, and then it is converted to embedding. Embedding is nothing but a vector form, as I explained earlier, and that goes to your vector database. And then user asks a query or question, even that is converted to vector form, embedding, which is a second stage. The next stage, what happens is you have the vector database, and now you have the embedding of the query. You perform some form of semantic search. So based on that, whatever you get relevant data, that goes as context to the LLM. And given the context, given the input, and one more important thing is query will have like as part, LLM will be given with, along with the relevant data, prompt as well, basically instruction on what you are expecting out of it. So based on all this, response is what you will get. So this is a typical RAG pipeline. So this is the data ingestion part, and that is the like retrieval part, and then basically you perform the augment and generation data synthesis part. Yeah, there are some problems with LLMs, right? You might have heard of hallucination. Hallucination is nothing but these models are trained on past data. So they do, let us say ChatGPT was trained on the internet data that was captured till 2021, right? If you ask some recent question or the question related to the recent affair, it won't be able to answer it, right? So one of the people started thinking about how to solve these kind of problems. So let us take the analogy of we as human beings, if we want to check anything or search, what we do, we go to the Google search, right? And if we want to perform any moderately complicated math operation, calculator is what we pick. So these are like agents to us to perform some certain tasks. So similarly, agents are like enabling tools for the LLMs. So this is how the a tool is nothing but like it is a calculator, or all the related tools are clubbed as a toolkit, and agent is what facilitates given the query, wherever it does not know how to perform given operation, it knows basically what tool to use, when to use, and it will be able to basically generate the output for the given input by making use of these tools. So this is really relevant in the context of DeFi space, because a lot of things what we want to do in DeFi using the LLM, we won't be able to do it by default. We will have to use agents at some places. So now let us talk about some of the use cases of how LLM, now we understood RAG, we understood LLM agents, how it can be applied in the DeFi space, right? So, yeah, first one is analyzing the transaction records. So in general, if you want to analyze these transaction records, you will have to go to the apps like DBank, and these are not like human readable form, right? And to be able to understand this transaction, you will have to perform, let us say, data gathering, cleaning, and you will have to perform some analytics on top of that. So idea is, can LLM analyze these transaction records, visualize the data, and help to put it into human readable form. Yeah, so one of the use cases, basically, there is a, if you have used ChatGPT, there is like ChatGPT 3.5, 4, it comes with a subscription, basic ChatGPT Plus. So if you take that subscription, it allows you to use the plugins. These plugins are some form of LLM agents, actually. So it allows you to perform. Without that plugin, if you go to, let us say, GPT 3.5 or 4, try to do these things, you won't be able to do because it does not understand any of the, let us say, these on-chain activities or the networks or the blockchain, apart from the, of course, typical knowledge it would have gained from the data it is trained on, Wikipedia data, right? So definitely we know that ChatGPT lacks the ability to access the live data. And this plugin basically empowers ChatGPT to perform on-chain activities. So this plugin is designed in such a way that the outcome of it is easy to understand even for the beginners, because that is the intent. So idea is, like, let us say if you input the wallet address or ENS, then basically plugin will output the transaction in human readable manner. For example, this is using Web3 user activity plugin on along with the GPT-4. This is what you get. Okay. So another plugin, interesting plugin that DeFi Llama came up with is DeFi Llama's ChatGPT plugin. Basically, this plugin helps you in many ways. One is keeping up to date with the informations. So in the blockchain space, there are like a lot of protocols coming, networks coming, and maybe there are many DeFi-based applications and bridges. So if you want to keep yourself updated with these informations, then this plugin will help you with that. And basically, it can also help you with some of the analytics like best performer, worst performer, some of the complicated things that won't be readily available to you. Idea is by having access to these data and ability to analyze these transactions, can it give some of these things? And basically, you can also use it for finding the potential investment avenues, and in the crypto world, there is something called airdrop where you want to do the airdrop. So even for something like that, this plugin can be used. So let us understand, along with the examples, how to do some of these things. Sorry. Yeah. So example prompts can be like, let us say, what is the TLV of SushiSwap? Right? Or what is the current revenue of the Curve protocol? So like earlier I was saying, whenever like you ask a query, along with that, like prompt is designed, right? So if you give these type of prompts, then what is the kind of the outcome you get? Yeah, this is with basically ChatGPT Plus interface where it says it used DeFi Llama plugin, and question is bridge volume of Arbitrum chain today. So this is what response you get. And of course, if you ask the same question with any typical LLM that is not aware of these things, then it won't be able to help you with any of these kind of details. And similarly, if you want to understand, let us say, name the top 5 protocols that have earned the most fees in last 30 days, or which protocol has generated least revenue in this month. So these are like basically identifying top and worst performer. Yeah. So if you look at that example, question was which yield pools are offering the highest returns right now, right? So it gave in the form of table along with the API, 30-day mean, and TVL. So basically, it is a lot more digestible if you want to make some decisions, right? Rather than because it is too much of information that is out there, and if you want to make certain investment or informed decision, these kind of data will really help. And let us say you want to stay updated with the current trend, like daily basis, what is going on out there. Then again, what are the bridge flows for the chain's last 14 days, and which protocol has the highest percentage growth in TVL. So basically, some informations will be made based on the volume of it, some will be based on the maybe percentage change. So anytime you want to look at certain things, then definitely you can perform those kind of analysis. Yeah, so question is, give me a summary of what happened in DeFi space this week, right? Then it highlights like with a given protocol what all happened and what is the TVL, the stuff like that. And good thing is based on this you can ask the follow-up question as well. Then if you want to dig deeper with a, let us say Pulse or Tron, you can do that. Yeah, so other use cases, let us say if you want to yeah, enhance the security using the LLM, right? So you might have come across this news if you follow like blockchain, closely follow the blockchain news. Last year, Merlin DX was basically right after code edit happened. Within 2 days, it was hacked $1.8 million, right? So there were many speculations. A lot of blame games happened. I mean, somebody said malicious code was the problem. Somebody said private key was compromised, and others said the address there was a problem. So idea is, can we prevent some of these things by analyzing the transaction, right? So since LLM has the logic and reasoning ability based on the data it might have seen in the past, given the examples, given the knowledge base and the prompt, can it act as a firewall for the smart contract? That is the idea. So idea is to analyze and identify the vulnerabilities so that eventually helping safeguarding the investors' assets here. Main idea here is analyze the transaction record and tell what is the likelihood of address being a bot. Let us say you give in terms of probability score 70%, 80%, so that you can make the decisions accordingly or think twice before doing something. So looks like with that, after analyzing what they found out is the recipient address, actually it had approval to withdraw every token in the pool during the liquidity pool. That was the problem. Yeah, like I think earlier Mr. Manish showed you the some of the code, right? So if you look at these code, this is where the problem lied. It may sound silly, but that's what they found out. Yeah, so another example to enhancing the securities, let us say we spoke about earlier Web3 based user activity plugin that can be integrated with the ChatGPT. So if you have access to this, basically you analyze the transactions and then based on that, you give the score of likelihood of what is the possibility of address being a bot. Let us take a look at one of the example. Yeah, so this is the example what you can see, and the top side whatever is written, I know that maybe definitely it is not readable, but it is the prompt. It is saying that like like address is given here and based on that give me the likelihood score between 0 and 1. How it is supposed to act on the given input is explained as part of the prompt. So here it is giving estimated likelihood is 0.2 because it says it appears that account has been involved in financial transactions and interactions with the mirror platforms. Most likely it is a human being. So likelihood score is 0.2. So you know that mostly it is not a bot based on the analysis it has done this particular plugin. So some of the ways LLM can be used to improve in the space of smart contract, right? One thing we understood, we can ensure smart contracts are more safe and secure using the LLM. Another one is maybe if you look at contract terms, it is difficult to understand as well. Can we use LLMs to convert them to, like, let us say, natural languages or the something that is more digestible by the beginners or the users, right? And other revenue can be creating the new smart contract application. Let us say, can we use, these are kind of like possibilities or what can be done in the future. Can we ensure automatic execution of smart contract between the two parties, right? And other third use case is to help the community, because LLM really thrives at like given the knowledge base how to do the question answering. So what else can be done in the DeFi space using this capability? One is like DeFi governance, where let us say people have the right to vote, and you want to vote for what is your like let us say favorite proposal. But to be able to do that, you may have to understand a lot of background information and maybe past community debates. So if it is stored in the form of knowledge base and you use a form of QA bot, then you ask questions to it, get the information. Based on that, you make voting decision. That is the idea. And then also understand if I vote let us say for a given proposal, what is the impact behind that choice? So LLM can be used in these two ways. Yeah, yeah, because like I said, it is hard for community members to understand the context before voting. That's where this helps. Yeah, so idea is basically when I said building the knowledge search, it can be maybe you take inputs from all the spaces. Let us say there are presentations, podcasts, tweets, Discord community chats. So all of this thing can be like, eventually you can convert all of it into text and create a knowledge knowledge base out of that. And then it can be used for the question answering. Yeah, even like any source for that matter, like GitHub can be used as well. And application-wise, maybe you can make this as part of like, let us say something like Discord community also, where like along with the way you use the platform for the conversation, then to be able to get the information regarding some of the things you want to know in the space of, let us say, blockchain or the on-chain activity, whatever is going on, then you can question and get the information regarding that. Yeah, another example for Q&A bot is there is a platform called Awesome QA. They give you the tool or platform for the community engagement in the form of question answering, and they have a plan to integrate ChatGPT. So idea is here to understand if you integrate LLM or any form of generative model, then what all are the possibilities when you integrate it along with the existing QA system. One is, of course, knowledge search, that is possible. Couple of other interesting ways are, let us say you analyze the messages from the community members, and then maybe you do the let us say FAQ analysis, and then based on that you can get the data driven insights about the community depending on the messages of community members, then what is the emotion, the way the community members are thinking, stuff like that. And the last one is like, let us say if there are any messages that talk about some of the questions that are left attended or something that is more critical or important, those kind of analysis are definitely possible with the LLM. Yeah, I think last one is intent-based LLM for DeFi. So far we spoke about ability to use the LLM, but we also know that LLM can be fine-tuned or trained. So because of the cost associated behind training the model, it is a lot more complicated. Fine-tuning is what people do. There are a lot more efficient ways of fine-tuning, basically, let us say knowledge distillation. If you have a bigger LLM model, that is meant to do a number of things trained on a lot of data, and I just want a LLM focused towards certain area, then knowledge distillation is nothing but it is like getting the student model from the teacher model, right? So you train the smaller model from the bigger model. So that is a lot more efficient than regular fine tuning. And then there are like definitely quantization based approaches to ensure efficient fine tuning of the LLM. Idea is even after all the use cases that we spoke about, it always helps training the LLM for the given, like let us say, use case. In this case, there is a lot of data out there related to blockchain, DeFi space, all these things. So one of the, yeah, so ParaX AI, they have basically trained Web3 intent-based LLM. What they have done is, they have ensured like through their knowledge base, it is all updated and basically you have all the information about the blockchain network, stuff like that. And as a second step, intent preparation is basically you give the input, which is in the form of natural language, the question. Based on that, it is inferred and converted into intents, which is like relevant in the space of DeFi, right? Intents are nothing but the tasks that are relevant to whatever you want to do. And then intent completion is based on these intent tasks, then it informs some of these APIs wherever you want to perform the on-chain activities. Then if it can basically infer those things, then intent is completed. Otherwise, it goes back to asking the follow-up question and then ensures that, like, it is able to call the proper API from on-chain activity. And then it executes the intent and then basically response is generated. And if you want to take a look at example, let us say this is the example, right? And here the problem statement, yeah, sorry, again, I know that it is, from the screenshot, it is not readable, but problem statement is given and then this left side step basically corresponds to intent interpretation and completion. So it is first from the natural language, it is converting it into like human readable form, like earlier we discussed, right? And then it goes to something that is understood by the blockchain APIs. And then if you see, interestingly, like it is not like fully automated because it is not always guaranteed that LLM outcome will be true, right? So it is giving you option, you go through it and then execute. Execute will ensure intent execution and accordingly response generation will be done. So it is giving you option to basically review what you are trying to do. And if you know that whatever you are doing is right, then go ahead with the execution. And then as outcome, you get the response generation. Yeah, I think that's all from my end. Any questions you have, please? Or you want to take it?
I guess we can, yeah, we can have it during our dinner time. So folks will...